Welcome back everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. Now anyone who is into fitness or cares about their health knows that what you eat is equally as important as your workouts. But come on, we're only human. We all love a bit of snacking from time to time. The only problem is that it can often be quite difficult to find decent snacks. Now you've got your protein bars, your workout snacks, all those sorts of things. But generally they're either expensive, especially in the current economic climate, or they contain a lot of ingredients which maybe you want to take a second glance at. So what is the alternative? Make it yourself. That's why today we're going to be looking at one of the recipes in this here book here. Shout out to this chap himself, B. Dylan Hollis. Not a bad chap. At least his baking is not bad. So what are we going to be making? We're going to be making the Magic peanut butter cookies. Now peanut butter is a favourite food of a lot of health enthusiasts and me. But we're going to change this ever so slightly to make it more fit for our needs of being a post-workout snack. Start by preheating our oven to 180 degrees. Also we're going to have to remove any jewellery. Maybe I should have wiped down the surface before I turned the camera on. Now what makes this a magic biscuit or a magic cookie? I will call it a biscuit because I am British and not wrong.
They're not cookies, they're called biscuits.
Now the main thing which makes this magic is that it is a free ingredient biscuit. And right off the bat that almost immediately makes this to our advantage if we're trying to be healthy. Because it means there's very little to mess up here, or there's very little to actually interfere with to overall make it biscuit. Oh, what are we going to need? 1 cup or 270 grams of peanut butter, half a cup of granulated sugar, we're going to be using sweetener for this one, and 1 egg. There we go, we've got the cup of peanut butter here, which was all my peanut butter, so let's hope this works. Coffee, we don't need that. You could add it alternatively if you wish to make this a morning snack. Now we just add the egg. Oh, look at that. Bit of shell. Well, it certainly is making quite the mixture. Now we add the sweetener. Now, I was actually tempted to try using something other than sweetener for this. I wanted to do a bit of an experiment and see what would happen if I used something which used more natural sugar within it, rather than sweetener, because I'm aware that sweetener is also quite expensive, and something such as, say, honey, for example, has greater utility, while still being about the same price, whereas sweetener, you can only really use it for baking. Now, we use about half a cup, or 100 grams, and 100 grams, according to this, is equal to 8 tablespoonfuls. Six, 7, 8. Now just need to mix thoroughly. Now we do have them here. I've hand rolled them into 6 little balls here. Now it does say that there is enough here for a dozen, so for 12, but I decided to make 6 as we want a bit more of a substantial post-workout snack. Now it says put in for 10 minutes, but because these are a bit bigger, I might leave them in a little bit longer just to give them a bit of extra cooking time. So pop these in. Set timer for 10. So initial timer is set for 10 minutes, so we'll see how they do. But now in the meantime, time to do some washing up. So 10 minutes are up. I've had to unfortunately switch to my phone as my camera kind of ran out of battery. Whoopsie. See, this is why you pre-arrange things. Let's take a quick look and see what they're looking like. Okay, so they're really not... Okay, so I'm gonna say they need about... I'm thinking they're gonna need about 5 more minutes. Now, while we're waiting, I really am intrigued, shall we say, to try more recipes from this. Because what really drew me in was because they're older recipes, because that's the point of this book, that it's recipes from throughout the 1900s. so they're less commercialized. More things that you would be able to make just from the comfort of your own home. You're not going to need to flambe anything or use a blowtorch on anything, unless you really want to. So some of these recipes I'm intrigued to try. Okay, let's have a little bit of a look. What do you reckon? No, they're still quite doughy. I don't know, maybe perhaps another 5 will hopefully help them out. I'm getting worried now. I'm really intrigued about, where is it? Pancakes as well, leftover bread pancakes. I'm eager to give that one a go. Oh, I'm eager to try this one as well. Because this is just such a unique pudding, I'm eager to give it a go. Here we are. Peanut butter bread. So we're keeping with the peanut butter theme. Again, just with a little bit of tweaking to the recipe. Could probably make something that would be an excellent evening dessert, post-evening workout. The gingerbread recipe, Admiral's gingerbread. Admiral gingerbread? Can't wait to give this one a go as well around Christmas. It was a birthday gift, getting this book. Getting this book was definitely a baking awakening, so we'll see what comes of it. Moment of truth. They look about the same. I don't know what's going on. Is my oven broke? I hope not. Maybe I'm not maybe they're not meant. Maybe they're not just going to squish. Maybe that's the thing. Okay, I think I've left them as long as I feel comfortable leaving them. They've hardened, certainly. I think what it just is that because of their shape, and because I didn't like squish or anything, and because, you know, they don't contain the flour or actual sugar or anything, instead of flattening out like they would normally for regular biscuits, they've instead taken more of a scone-like shape. Which, okay, fair enough. It's just expectations against reality, so just gonna leave them to cool for about 10 minutes before transferring them to a wire rack, but because there are flies about, I want to be careful. While we are here, and while I am waiting for them to cool, something which I think it's worth talking about here is that how sometimes in YouTube Shorts I'll talk about various subjects related to martial arts, you know, ones that are perhaps more misconceptions or more things of controversy, which, because of the format of shorts, I kind of just give a bullet point on my opinion, but don't really give a lot of detail, perhaps as much detail or nuance as they deserve. I try to in like the description of those shorts, but because not everyone sees that, sometimes it can lead to some problems. So I might as well just alleviate that here. So first, one of the big ones, Aikido. Now, I'm not actually someone who practices Aikido. Of course, I practice Chinese martial arts, but enough people dunk on it and say it's terrible, then it has that underdog quality that I feel like, hold on, maybe we're going a bit too hard too quickly. Also, one of my students also practices Aikido, and I'll talk about this first, but sometimes in sparring, he has been able to use Aikido techniques on me that I didn't see coming or anything, which made me think there was more of substance within Aikido than everyone says. And by the way, as well, check out Martial Arts Journey here on YouTube. Here's a more comprehensive look at Aikido, bringing it into MMA, comparing it to MMA, and I think he would be able to talk far more on the subject than I ever could. I think half of it is just the combination of poor teachers, so the McDojo effect, and just poor misconceptions, and just a poor reputation. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the first Aikido teacher, was it that he taught people that were already familiar with martial arts, already had high-ranking belts in other martial arts before they learned Aikido? I think that was it. Because I think what it is that if you weave Aikido in with other martial arts, with, say, just basic boxing combinations, with kickboxing, with Muay Thai, with BJJ. There is something there of substance. It's like a tapestry. You want to just use. If we say Aikido is like orange thread, if you thread the orange in with other colours, it pops more. It has more of an overall effect on the whole tapestry. It enhances the tapestry. Whereas if you only use orange thread, it's just going to be a block of orange, and then what's that to anyone? Unless you really like orange. I think a lot of the misconceptions around martial arts, around especially traditional martial arts, come about because either they spend too long marred in just tradition. They do not allow themselves to experiment in the chaotic. Like say if we compare to other forms of exercise, like just working out at the gym, you'll have your workout routine, you'll have your exercises that you know, your exercises that you really like and that you practice a lot, and you'll gain a lot of strength through them, which is excellent, really good. But then you'll try a newer exercise, one which is a bit different from what you're used to, and that will cause you to struggle a bit. You'll work different muscle groups that you haven't worked in a while. So then you have two choices presenting you. Either you can give up on it and say, no, not going to work for me, I'll stick with what I already know. Or you can work at it and say, okay, this is something I'm weak with, let me try and practice at this. I think martial arts is in some ways the same thing. Because if you stay, in martial arts, if you stay limiting yourself to tradition, to just the form work, to just what the martial art teaches you, you'll do fine in what you do. You grow in your own little community, sure. But then when you try something new, and you struggle at it, you spent so long being the master of your craft in another area that you go, I'll sod this. Or you take the humble route and say, okay, let me learn from this, let me grow from this. Is any of this making any sense, or am I just rambling? I think these are going to take more of, a scone-like consistency. So I think if you do want to... Here, let me swivel them around. So if you do want these to take more of a traditional biscuit type shape, I would probably recommend squishing them a bit before you put them in the oven, so that then they can flatten out a bit more, or spread out a bit more. Because otherwise they'll just stay like this. Which is fine, I don't mind it like this, but different. So now what I'm going to do is let them finish cooling on a plate. Let's see. No sticking to the tinfoil, because I use tinfoil instead of parchment paper. So, seems it worked just fine. They are still quite warm, I will admit. Perhaps I am transferring them a bit early. But with mistakes come opportunities to learn and grow. We have a lovely triangle of scones, of peanut butter scones. Peanut butter scones, that's what I need to call them now. They're peanut butter scones, everyone. Maybe I should add raisins to them next time I try to make these. Ooh, raisins and peanut butter, would that work? I don't know. But the roasted fine. I haven't even tried these yet, so I wouldn't know. Yo, peanut butter scones. Ooh. But see, this is what I mean. We've taken the same basic... well, we can compare this to martial arts as well. We've taken the blueprints. We've taken the form work of this recipe. And we've changed it to fit our needs. Very slightly made changes. Will we succeed from this? Will it succeed? Will it fail? It's obviously come out different to what we initially thought, because we expected it to take more of a biscuit shape. But we haven't tasted them yet, so we'll see how they taste. If they taste good, then I'd say we're onto a winner. It's the same here. That's what sparring does. This is sparring. It's form work versus sparring. I'm gone mad. I think I don't need coffee. I need
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
There we go. So now they can air and breathe, so they won't sweat out, and the flies won't be as likely to get to them. Ah! So now I'll just leave these to work their magic. Meanwhile, I've got this footage to edit. I'll come back probably in another, 20 minutes or so, and move them to the fridge to let them firm up a bit. Then once we've let them firm up for a good hour or so, then we'll give them a go. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours since I made them. So I have one here, ready to eat, next to some apricots. And to wash it down, I'm going to see what the fuss is finally all about by trying Prime for the first time. Went for the Meta Moon flavour, so we'll see what that's meant to be like. Candy fruit flavoured drink. Oh. So I picked a flavour which I am absolutely not going to like. Should have gone with the lemon and lime. I'll see first of all what this is like. Got the dog behind me. You alright, boy? You okay? Would you like a biscuit? Would you like to try my peanut butter scone? No? Okay. So let's see what this is like. Actually, that's really good. It's as crumbly as I was expecting. Look at that, it's just falling off. Perhaps it is just the sweetener, but that tastes good. The slightly roasted flavouring of the peanut butter, in addition to just the sweetness with the sweetener as well, it's a really good flavouring. And it's just the right amount of crumbliness as well. So this is a really good. I'm eager to see how this tastes tomorrow when it's had 24 hours to firm up in the fridge, and it's coming off of and when I have it, it'll be post-workout as well. So I'm eager to see what it tastes like as well. I can confirm it was as good as it was yesterday. Funnily enough, having it today, it had a different flavouring to it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the sweetener, but it tasted more like banana?
Always take a banana to a party, Rose. Bananas are good.
Now that I finished it, I ate it all in one go. There is a bit of dryness with it, but we're just eating it just as bites. It's perfectly fine. I was questioning whether or not it would be good on the next batch, so if you make it again, or if you want to make it yourself, whether or not to add raisins or something like that to it in order to add a bit of moisture to it, add a bit of extra flavour to it. But no, actually, it doesn't need it. It's fine without. You can if you wish to, but I don't think it needs it. And actually, it works really well, just like that, as this sort of scone-ish mixture. Because even if I were to have it, say, for afternoon tea or something, it would still work really well. So that just shows you how just akin to martial arts or in baking, all you need are just simple ingredients, simple techniques in order to make something truly good. So I definitely would recommend making that. I actually would say go out of your way to try and make this. It only takes, 20 minutes in the oven? So 5 minutes prep, not that difficult. Now let me just finish my apricot. With the dried apricots as well. It's really good. So either make it a post-workout snack or make it a snack like I am with the apricots. Either way, it works well. Well, after having that, I am very much intrigued to see what other surprises come out of that book. So we're going to be having a lot more baking videos on this channel. And now for you. It's funny, a year ago it was a massive craze to have this. You could barely guess this. Unfortunately, the footage of me actually drinking the Prime kind of got corrupted. Typical. So to give my quick review, I thought it was fine. Not great, not terrible. I'm liking it more to Robinson's than anything else. It wouldn't be my first choice in terms of drinks to hydrate myself. I would probably first of all go with water or Earl Grey. It's not something I would seek out, and certainly I wouldn't have done back when it was such a big thing. But now it's in the bargain bin for £2. But in a strange way, at the time when I drank it, I thought, well, that's a letdown, because I had just had a great biscuit with what I had made, and then I followed it up with something I just deemed fine. I think if I had just had it with my coffee, I think I would have been perfectly fine. But that will have to do for this week. Thank you all for watching this week's video. I'll put the recipe for said biscuit down in the description. Like I say, if you want more of a typical biscuit or cookie shape, I would recommend squashing it down a bit first. Or if you don't want the larger one, I would say, yeah, try making it in a dozen. But overall, that's me. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, everyone. Peace be with you.